provider in Sri Lanka today, multidisciplinary in function, futuristic in approach, and above all, gifted with a team of inspired professionals yearning to go beyond. That inspiration comes with a history that flourished when the developed world of today was hardly awake. Our services range from conceptual design, feasibility studies, preparation of bid documents, assisting bid evaluation, detailed design and construction supervision, and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me have the privilege of inviting one of the prominent characters in Central Engineering Consultancy Bureau to elaborate our inspiration. He's a chief structural designer of many remarkable projects in buildings, Manning Market Project, Defence Headquarters Project, dams, Kalgaga Dam, and Airport Runway, Palali Airport Runway, and structural design works of Mattala Airport, chief structural designer of Aruwakalu Solid Waste Management Project, and many others. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Additional General Manager, Design 3 Section, proud product of University of Moratuwa, Engineer Aravinda Kalgaldeniya. Dear sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sarasi. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I must thank and congratulate the organizing committee, the training division of CCB, and Engineer Nalin for organizing this timely needed, very informative and important knowledge sharing series, the CPD course in other words, that would enhance the knowledge of CCB professionals as well as the others in the industry. Although there are many online courses, seminars spreading like virals, this lecture series has been a landmark in the field and has been great service to the professionals, as there are more than 1,000 participants always. We construction industry professionals know what is happening around us today. Downfall is the starting point of uprising. So limiting our expertise only to Sri Lanka was our problem, I think. The best example could be seen from our other industries like IT firms and government industry, who provide services and manufacture goods for foreign markets. So that is why I think this has a great step initiated by our experienced, talented team in the effort of expanding our wings to fly beyond our Sri Lankan boundaries. With that note, I thought to give you a very short brief on our CCP capabilities in the field of structural designs, though it is not the subject here. This, of course, not to talk about the subject, but to brief our capabilities and capacities which may be useful in the effort of flying over our boundaries. So let me share my screen for a few minutes. Hope you all can see. Yes. So I will start with very brief on CCB involvement in structural design. You can see that the key areas which we had involved in our structural design was building infrastructure, airport design, dam design, structural damage assessment. And the special building, I will start with building for the special building because we have done many buildings, but of course we have done some special building. One is the Defence Headquarters Complex, which the employer was Ministry of Defence. CCB was the whole consultant, and the contractor was Strike Forces. And some of key features of this project was to use active and passive method to mitigate blast effect of the structure, blast resistant building design, and adaptation of progressive collapse designs. And you can see the complex. It is 8 individual units connected each other, and this administration block is there, and there are 2 parts to be yet to be commenced. One is the officer mess, the other one is other rank officers accommodation. I hope that will also start in future. So this is the final appearance of the building of the part that we had already completed. And then under the infrastructure development project, I would like to give some brief on this Manning market. This also shows our capabilities of being modern-like building. So there are a few design aspects actually to be highlighted. One is the taper slanted column. You can see the feature when you go to through the highway, and monopitch roof, and also the elevated road resting on the precast beams. And this concrete bridge link with the steel frame structure, and board pile we had done full mod. So some of the featured elements are shown there. I'm actually going very fast because I know this is not the time to talk on this subject. And these are the things that you can see. And also we have done some airport design, as mentioned Sarasi. The Mattal Airport design, structural designs was our scope, and we did 45-meter high air traffic control tower and 15,000 meters squared passenger terminal building, cargo building, water tank, and fire rescue building. So you can see the ATCT, which is most I think visible building in the complex, and it is 45-meter height, 9-storied, 9 floors, and also 4.5-meter floor heights are there, and 2 cantilevered staircase is a feature, and sometimes you might be seen it when you go visit the premises. So this is what you can see from there. You can see these very elegant structures, and based on the architectural inputs we received from Austrian architect. And one thing I could mention here is that we actually got these whole services from others. This is a good example that how we can work with the foreign consultants. ACOM was the designer, and we were the structural engineer, and China Harbour was the contractor. And these are the some featured building, cargo building, very tall building in past days. And this has about 100-meter length and 50-meter wide, the large space provided for the cargo. And the rehabilitation of runways, actually we have done some runways on Radhapura that was not implemented, but we have done this Palali Air Force Base runway, and we have done the rehabilitation, and we have the capabilities of doing that. And dam and large reservoirs is another featured and landmark capacity of CCB, and one recently developed project was the Kaluganga development, though we had done many in our past. And this has got 680-meter length, 68-meter Rockfield Dam, and also there was a saddle dam of 720-meter length. And these other features are there. 248 MCM capacity reservoir we built actually. And then you can see the overall view of the Kaluganga. And one featured thing that we are doing today is the structural assessment and retrofitting, where demand in field. And in the retrofitting, actually, you can talk about few areas like fire damage, foam blast resistant, retrofit of all buildings, and retrofitting of deteriorated building. So this is the Museus College fire damage. Actually, we did the assessment, and then we did the bomb damage. The Kingsbury Hotel and the Cinnamon Grand. So both we did the assessment. And also we did the retrofitting of all buildings like President Secretariat, Museum, and all race course building, and also Jaffna. These are some of highlights. And also the retrofitting of the deteriorated building is the KDU, partly completed building, and we had actually undertaken to renovate it and reconstruct it. Now it is at the last phase of the project. And with that, actually, I will conclude my presentation, because I hope that there are many more to actually waiting your side. So I will stop my video sharing, and the next thing actually I want to as a summary is that yes. This I hope this will be not the end of our journey, and I think I hope that there will be many CPDs and knowledge sharing sessions in the journey of that we expect to conquer the world. Thank you very much again to the organizing committee, Engineer Nalin, and all participants, and wish you a very pleasant evening with full of knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable thoughts. So, dear friends, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. So, let's start the program. Let me have the honor of inviting the course moderator. He's a chartered engineer, director CECB CSL, proud product of University of Peradeniya, Engineer Nalendi Silva. Dear sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sarasi. Thank you very much, and very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the 4th consecutive Sunday evening with the CPD program, and I'm sure that we have learned a lot in last 3 weeks or so. And today is a very special day, and we are going to touch some different areas which sometimes engineers and professionals are quite reluctant to do so. Today, the topic is mostly about the pre-construction activities. In our language, we can say simply this pre-construction work especially comes in the Middle Eastern region. The core content could be covered, the project acquisition, the basic acquisition, and sometimes people can say sales and marketing, or sometimes the grabbing or picking a project up. So that's from the perspective of professionals. So what we have to do, sometimes we feel that it's all about filling a BOQ and get the lowest price and win a project. But especially when it comes to Middle Eastern region, today we have a veteran engineer. He has a lot of experience of how to acquire a project, not only just submitting a price proposal. We'll see how he's going to deliver it, and he's going to share his knowledge within the short span of maximum 1.5 hours, maybe 1 hour for presentation, and we have a 30 minutes of question and answer session. For the ground rules, I'm sure that many of us are familiar right now, because now we are not going to enable the chat box, and we are going to enable the chat box at one time, which is the time of marking your attendance. Therefore, no one needs to put any messages in the chat box or YouTube live or any WhatsApp groups with your name, registration number, ID number, or anything. Nothing is required, because we are going to have a Google form to mark your attendance. So that's the only way of marking your attendance. And in any case of your power failure or signal failures, what we recommend is at least to have 3 screenshots in different time slot with 30 minutes gaps to prove when it is required by the training unit of CECB and CESL. And those are the key ground rules. We are not going to tell that when this attendance sheet is published. It could be mostly at the end of the presentation before beginning of the Q&A session. At the Q&A session, we are going to enable the chat box, and you can raise your hand. I'm sure that everybody knows the raise hand. See that now I have done. There's an option of raising hands. So you can raise your hands. We will give you the opportunity on the basis of first come, first serve. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much of a time, we have one of a very experienced engineer by profession, who's graduated from University of Moratuwa from his basic degree from the discipline of electrical engineering. And he finishes his postgraduate. At the same time, got the membership of IEEE and NFPA. NFPA stands for National Fire Protection Association, which is from United States. At the same time, this gentleman, Engineer Minoj Silva, is a director and the founder of Pro Lighting Group Private Limited. So that's what his accolade is all about. But what I know for a longer time, say 15 years of my relationship with this gentleman, he's a humble gentleman whom can be reached at any time. And if you have any question, especially with this experience and exposure to different cosmopolitan cultures, especially in the Middle Eastern region and Sri Lanka and Maldives as well, even in the Singaporean businesses. So he has an asset to Sri Lankan young engineers and professionals. Therefore, he's going to share his knowledge selflessly about the basics of how to grab a project. We call this pre-construction activities. We'll listen to him and we'll get his knowledge up, and please try to take the maximum out of this session. And I would like to hand over the screen to Engineer Minoj. Engineer Minoj, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot, Nalin, about introduction about me. Nalin, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So that today, good evening, everyone again. Today topic is, I moderate this topic as good practices in pre-construction to deliver successful project. So in this lecture, I am not going to teach you about theories. What I am going to share with you, my experience through, especially in Middle East and some other region where construction peaks are there, and through some case studies. Yeah. So already Nalin explained about my background. So this is my academic background. So my industrial background is I have worked BK Gulf, Dubai from 2006 to 2013 as senior electrical engineer. When I resigned from the company, I was a deputy project manager in ELV systems. Then later on, I came to Sri Lanka 2013. Now I am serving my services to Pro Lighting Group as a co-founder and director. Since couple of years back, I have diversified my profession into business consultancy and project consultancy in related to construction. Because as we all are engineers, we have to be dynamic, not statistics. So sometime in the future also, you also have to be a dynamic. Engineers should be like that. Yeah. So why I explained about my industrial background, then I can then easy to understand that, get the knowledge about my experience with these countries. These are the mega structures in Dubai I have involved. So this was my first project in Dubai. I think you almost should know about this project, Atlantis Hotel, the Palm Dubai. This project started 2006 and completed 2008. This is a 28 months project, very big project. Construction cost was $2 billion around at that time. As I'm an MEP engineer, I need to show you this project size in MEP electrical point of view. That's why I mentioned this project has 52 numbers of transformers, each 1.5 MVA. It means total load is 75 MVA. It means it is bigger than all Lakshapana. Then you can see the size of that project. Then from day one to finishing stage, I was there. Then I have worked Lake Fountain, Dubai also as a testing commissioning engineer for some months for the same company. Then some other mega structures in Dubai. So I think who has Middle East experience, they should know these projects. These are key projects there. So then when I resigned from Dubai work, so I finally worked for New York University, Sadia, Thailand, Abu Dhabi. It is again very big projects. Why I explain this project through my case studies and knowledge sharing. In coming slides, I will use these projects. So these projects I have involved as a construction. During the construction, it's been part of post-construction team. Also during in BK Gulf, in normally Middle East, as Nalin explained, 2008, new concept they started to practice, pre-construction. It came with the international global financial crisis. It's badly hit to the Dubai as well. Then they, in the project management model, they practice pre-construction. Pre-construction means, I will explain later more. So these are the pre-construction projects. Personally, I involved. Some projects we got, some projects we lost. It's mean Tamir Towers in Reem Island, Cleveland Clinic Hospital, Abu Dhabi. This is at that time. This has been called as a 7-star hospital. 7-star mean it's a luxury hospital to the royal family as well. So Louvre Museum. This is a branch of Paris Louvre Museum. So these are the pre-construction project I involved. Today's session, I am going to discuss and to these areas: international construction market size and growth rate, analyze the history and future of construction industry, today engineer role in competitive construction industry, pre-construction in modern construction industry, and pre-construction tools and benefits from pre-construction with some case studies. As Nalin explained, I will switch Sinhala language also. So other lecture එකේ මේ objectives ටික මම එක විදිහට touch කරනවා. flow එකක් විදිහට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට යවෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේක theory පැත්තට බර නැති හින්දා. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ ටික තමයි මම cover කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ අද. Right. Badly in Sri Lanka now, our construction market has been dead. It almost dead. That's the reality. As per my knowledge, and I think some of you also very, very well aware, this will not come up to like previous progress till 2025, 2026. But as engineers, as I said, engineers are not made for the local. Engineers are making for the global contest. අපේ දැන් world එක ගත්තම world එක ඒක තවදුරටත් ලොකු නෑ අපි කියන්නේ world එක like a village. Therefore, when we practice pre-construction or pre-sales, etc., so to perform, you have to think out of the box. Otherwise, you can't survive. Who has international experience? They know what I am talking. අපිට තවදුරටත් කොටු වෙලා වෙන්න බෑ. හැබැයි in the future, in Sri Lankan context, if even we have bad picture, but globally we have very good picture in the construction industry till coming 40 to 50 years. So this is some data I picked from globaldata.com. If you're interested, you can go to that website. You can get more detail in detail. 2021 total global construction market was around 11 trillion. This is not very well recorded, because some countries not very well recorded these figures. But when it is come to the region, so I got example in especially MENA region. MENA mean Middle East and North Africa region. This is the most construction happening region in the world. The reason is, as a Sri Lankan engineers, especially South Asian engineers has good opportunity to work in Middle East countries, not like other countries. You can't go China to work from here. You can't go to the India from here. You can't go to the States, even there are barriers are there. But as a free engineers, you can go to the Middle East. So UAE, this is UAE figures, 86 billion in 2021. By 2026, it will hit to 115 billion. KSA, it means Saudi Arabia in 2021, $120 billion. By 2026, 162 billion. Egypt, this is the figures, 64.2, 113 by 2026. Qatar, like that. As a density, you can see in UAE, as a density, that's the most highest construction density in Dubai. Yeah. So when you work in any company, any construction related company, you should analyze global picture. Then only you can plan the future, which is benefit you to the personally and to your company also. Then sometime you have to find a job for you or your company, other regions. You have to plan for that. Yeah. So that as a smart engineer, as I explained, you should study the history and the future in relevant region. Some case study in the past. Palm Dubai. I think I have noticed first lecture also. First lecture have explained about Palm Jumeirah, so I'm not going to explain that. This is construction started 2022, reclaim the island, and then it has been opened 2028. So that at that time, this project has been called 8th World Wonder. That's how they internationally announced this one. This is developer is Nakil. 2000 to 2010, Dubai economy and Dubai construction related on concept. That concept is from Palm Jumeirah. So in South Asian, Sri Lankans, Indians, Asian got a lot of jobs in Palm Jumeirah. Yeah, now that is history. I will show one video.
and training, we're now getting ready for that big arrival of our first guest. I'm just so pleased about the over 2,000 employees we have here to look after our guests. Seeing the camaraderie of the team come together. You know, we have over 42 nationalities. Each one of you are going to make the difference for our customers. I'm so excited about receiving the first guest with you and looking forward.
What I'd like to say to the folks that built it and to the guys that are setting up to operate it, that, you know, I'm very, very pleased, our board are very pleased with everyone, and my thanks go out to everyone, and that I think, and I have huge confidence, that just as we built a great resort, that we're going to operate one of the greatest resorts in the world.
Yeah. So මම මේ වීඩියෝ එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පෙන්නුවේ project එක from starting to end. මම ඔක especially මේ fresh engineers ලැති කියලා හිතනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තමයි construction මෙහෙම තමයි වෙන්නේ කියලා මට පෙන්වන්න ඕනකම තිබ්බේ. මොකද ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට project එකක් ලොකු project එකක් පටන් ගන්න තැන ඉඳලා ඉවර වෙන තැනට වෙනකන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට මේ බලා ගන්න බෑ. ඒ කියන්නේ එක්ක මගදී project එක නැවතිලා අන්න ඒක හිතනවා මට මේ වීඩියෝ එක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පෙන්වන්න ඕනුනේ. So that is about Palm Jumeirah development. It's a big development for the world. Then in Middle East history, 2004 to 2009, this development called downtown Dubai. So major projects were Khalifa Tower, world tallest, Dubai Lake Fountain, Dubai Mall, and series of hotel and commercial residence. As I know that Nalin also worked in Dubai Mall, world largest mall, lot of experience that there. Then 2010, with international recession, Dubai has stuck, same like Sri Lanka at the moment now, due to investment that international. Then Dubai Expo has been announced 2012. So Dubai Expo started 2016 to 2021 is construction finish. So this is the image of Dubai Expo. I think sometime you might visited there. You might hear from web. Sometimes you might see in the YouTube's videos about that. So in this event, they have planned for next 10 years for the construction. Different. I am not going to explain Dubai Expo concepts, why they made it. So you can study on the in the internet or what are their objectives they are going to achieve to Dubai Expo. Why I explain these things as an engineers, dynamic engineers in construction, you should study about that international picture, where are happening, where are not happening, etc. Yeah. So this is the future. If we success, if this success, this project, it is very good for all international engineers, especially South Asian engineers. This is called NEOM project. It is coming under Saudi Vision 2030. This project value is USD 500 billion by 2030. Then it will go, then final phase will go 2030 to 2045. Total project value is $1 trillion. This is the future. As fresh engineers have good opportunity to work for this kind of projects in the future. This is the NEOM stand for, NEO is Greek in new. M mean in Arabic word first letter, future, new future. So this has couple of phases. This is Neom Oxagon. This is a floating city for the industrial with latest artificial intelligent factories. Lot of things is there. This is the line. This is the line. This project called line. This is a totally residential and a new city. It is like a line. It means 170 kilometers long with these 200 meters, 500 meters height.
Countless governments and companies have taken a stab at building a city of the future. There's Songdo in South Korea, the Alphabet-funded Quayside project in Toronto, which was abandoned in May of last year. And both Singapore and Barcelona have tried to modernize with smart sensors. In January of 2021, Saudi Arabia announced plans for its own futuristic city called The Line. Instead of communities sprawling outward from a central location, they would be built vertically and arranged, well, in a line, hence the name. Even though the vision for the city stretches 170 kilometers, it would do away with cars entirely and instead be connected by high-speed rail that would travel the entire length in just 20 minutes. And each individual community would be largely self-contained so that almost anything you could need, be it a school, a doctor, or a quick meal, would be only a 5-minute walk away. The government says the line will run on 100% clean energy and make extensive use of sensors and AI to manage the city's services. And all of this is supposed to be nestled in the pristine natural landscape of the Tabuk province with minimal impact on the environment. Now the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has revealed grandiose renders of what the city will look like to match the grandiose plans. The line is envisioned as a giant glass and mirrored wall, 170 kilometers long, 200 meters wide, and 500 meters tall. That's taller than the Empire State Building. It would have greenery stretching along the top, an open air ventilation system to help maintain an ideal climate year round, and it would house up to 9 million people. Now, the line is just one part of Saudi Arabia. All that forced from homes have been harassed and abducted by Saudi security forces, arrested, or in some cases killed. For example, Abdul Rahim al-Hawati, a prominent Hawatat activist, was killed by police in April of 2020.
Yeah, I'm not going to show entire video due to time period. මම ඔයගලන්ට මේ වීඩියෝ එකෙන් පෙන්වන්නේ මේක තමයි construction upcoming future. May projects already started. Started mean it's a preliminary design stage. एक ඔයගොල්ලෝ සමහරට අහලා තියෙන සෞදි වල construction දැන් ලොකු opportunities තියෙනවා කියලා. ওই city එක base කරන් තමයි opportunity එක එන්නේ. එතකොට as a Sri Lankan engineers අපිට හොඳ opportunity එකක් especially fresh engineers ලට even though experienced engineers ලට මේකේ තියෙනවා. අපි දැනට ඔය මං involve වෙන business consultancy වල අපි මේ project study කරනවා business development පැත්තෙන් for some couple of companies වලට, right? Engineers' role in construction industry, today's world. This is very important. So these are the key matters which engineers should have. Updated technical and engineering knowledge. මේ ගැන නම් අපිට ලොකු මේකක් නෑ මොකද ගොඩක් ඩයිනමික් හොඳ engineersලා නිතර මේගොල්ලෝ අප්ඩේට් වෙලා ඉන්නේ. But I like to share some experience with you, especially in Sri Lanka. When I work in Dubai, I think Nalin also knows, we always ready to allocate some time for manufacturers meeting. It means coming through suppliers. අපි එකෙන් දෙකක් achieve කරනවා. එකක් තමයි අපේ project එකට ඒගොල්ලන්ගෙන් quotation එකක් ඕනේ just. ඊට අමතරව ඒගොල්ලෝ ගාව තමයි upgrade වෙන technology එක තියෙන්නේ. Especially අපි MEP එකේ ගත්තම HVAC පැත්ත, especially ELV systems වල. Johnson Control, Honeywell, Siemens ආපුවම අපි විතරක් නෙමෙයි. Sometimes even general manager also come in and sit to listen about technically. But Sri Lanka, I have experience, especially with consultancies. Sad to say, මම මේක මෙතනත් කියන්න කැමති ඇත්තටම මම ගොඩක් අයට ඒක කියලාත් තියෙනවා. අපේ අය meetings එහෙම දෙන්නේ නැහැ manufacturers ට. එහෙම එතකොට අපේ අය updated නැහැ. ඉතින් ඒකින්ද මම දැකලා තියෙනවා ගොඩක් consultancy firm ලංකාවේ මේ especially private companies ඒගොල්ලෝ updated නැහැ. ගොඩක් ඒවලට ඒගොල්ලෝ මොන හරි ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකක් ස්පෙක් කරලා ඩිසයින් කරනවා. හැබැයි ඇත්තටම එක්සිකියුෂන් එකේදී ගොඩක් තියෙනවා ග්‍රේ ඒරියාස්. ඒ වෙන්නේ ඒක. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ young engineers ලා fresh engineers ලා you should have two-way communication with all parties. In mean we call that all parties in order to project, especially manufacturers and specialists. Then planning and managing execution of the project within time frame. මේක ගොඩක් important. ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මම දකින්න ඇති දෙයක් තමයි අපි time engineers ලා time එක ගැන time frame එකට අපි එච්චර මේකක් දෙන්නේ unless project managers. But as engineers, time is very important. If you are going to the international construction industry, that's a must. Cost control and cost savings. This is not only the role of quantity surveys or project managers. Engineers should have good knowledge about the cost and cost control and cost saving opportunities. Coordination work with other system and parties. In Sri Lanka, I have experience in sometime our engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, or other civil engineers, they are not properly coordinating with other systems and other parties. But international, when you go to the international, we should do good coordination. Therefore, coordination work with other system and parties are really important. Other one, lead the team, subordinates and labor. International construction market eකට ගියාම pre-construction or post-construction, this must. ඔයාට මේ ඒරියා එකේ perform කරන්න බැයි නම් ඔයා fail වෙනවා. මේක අනිවාර්යෙන් perform කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ team එකක් ඔයාට handle කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. Especially construction. මේක individual game එකක් නෙමෙයි. Good knowledge about supply chain management and procurement management. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට අපි දකින්න එකක් තමයි in Sri Lanka procurement management එක ගැන අපි එච්චර මේවා කරන්නේ නැහැ. It means delivery period. As good engineers, we should know some products come from European countries, some products coming from China. So they have their production period different. For an example, I will get as lighting. Normally in European manufacturers, for the light fitting production time is nowadays 3 months, before 2 months. Chinese before 1 month, now 2 months. ඒකින්ද අපි ඔය මොන රටෙන්ද එන්නේ කියලා බලලා අපිට ඒ time frame එක හරි වැදගත් අපිට procurement management එකයි procurement management එක කරගන්න. The same also we should understand about their New Year holidays. Normally Chinese New Year holidays starting January to March. In European market, Christmas and August. For the maintainers, their factory closing. අපි සමහර වෙලාවට ඒ ගැන idea එකක් නෑ අපි order place කරන්න යනවා අර කුඩම very critical time වල ඒක fail. We have seen this kind of issues in Sri Lankan construction industry. Therefore, you should have supply chain proper understanding of supply chain management and procurement management. What is next? This is the very important thing engineers should have. Can you guess? කාටරි ඕනනම් කියන්න පුළුවන්. Think outside the box. Construction, as I said, construction is evolving and dynamic market. Lot of competitions are there. If you think inside the box, you will fail personally. Not only you, your organization also will fail. Therefore, you have to think out of the box. Therefore, this lecture, I will highlight you through case studies and experience. කොහොමද මේ අපි මේ pre-construction කියන එක theory වලින් පිට මොනවාද අපිට හම්බෙන දේවල් කියලා අපිට මම ඒක ඔයගලන්ට I will explain that. ඊට පස්සේ ඕගොල්ලොත් බලන්න හැමතිස්සෙම think outside the box. Outside the box හිතන engineers ලාව තමයි ඕනම organisation එකකට අවශ්‍ය. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තමයි demand එක වැඩිම. If you have Middle East construction, මෙහෙ වගේ 8-5 එහෙම එකක් නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ. ඔයා ready වෙලා ඉන්න ඕනේ 24 hours 24/7 work කරන්න. එහෙම වුණොත් success නැත්තම් success කරගන්න හරි අමාරුයි. මෙහෙ වගේ side ගහලා ඉන්න බෑ. Right? This is a good when I talk about think outside the box. This is a good book to read. It is called Blue Ocean Theory. I had an opportunity to got that book when I traveled to Germany 2016. I got this book and I read that. After reading this book only, I started my new phase in my career. It means business consultancy and sort of things. I learned a lot of from this book. This is called Blue Ocean Theory and Blue Ocean Strategy. මම හිතන්නේ මෙතන marketing knowledge එකක් තියෙන අය දන්නවා Blue Ocean Theory කියන්නේ තියෙන්නේ කියලා. මේක ඇත්තටම marketing වලට ටිකක් බරව මේ ආපු එක. හැබැයි මේක හැම තැනටම book එක read කරද්දී වාට ඒක වාගේ personal life එකට වාගේ career life එකට ඕන field එකට මේක වැදගත් book එකක්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන් නම් මේක internet එකේ තියෙනවා download කරන් කියවන්න. I need to share this case studies also with you. When we work in Dubai in pre-construction, this is called system architecture in ELV systems. This is actually I personally made this one during pre-construction period when we bid into the project under pre-construction period. This is Cleveland Clinic, what I explained before. Make a very complicated DLV systems. There are 3 bidders involved during the pre-construction as well, including our company. Make අපි කල්පනා කරලා අපි මේක ක්‍රියේට් කරා තනියෙන්. අපි සිස්ටම් ඉන්ටිග්‍රේටර්ස්ලා වරම් මේක අපි ප්‍රසන්ට් කරා අපේ pre-construction bidding meeting වල. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට ELV systems වලට ලොකු value එකක් ආවා මේ වගේ දෙයක් ප්‍රසන්ට් කරපු එකකින්. මේක අපිට value add එකක් වුණා අපේ pre-qualifications වලට. ඒතකොට මේක අපි out of the box හිතලා මමයි මගේ boss කෙනෙක් හිටියා bid manager අපි දෙන්නෙක් අහුවෙලා තමයි මේක ප්‍රසන්ට් කරේ. අපි ඊට පස්සේ මේක තව ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් වල ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරා. මේක single line diagrams නෙමෙයි. මේ වලට Middle East වල කියන්නේ system architecture. මේ අපි තව ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකකට මේ Lou Museum, this is called MSI. We did the same. We got the same result. Why I explain these things for the example of think out of the box and do your best. This is I think everyone knows about this topic, this slide and this content. මම මේක fresh engineers line හින්දා පොඩ්ඩක් ඒකයි මම මේක දැම්මේ. ඔයගලන්ට any projects you can categorize into මේකට වට categorize කරගන්න පුළුවන් ඕනම project එකක්. Residential project, hospitality project, commercial, industrial, institutional, infrastructure projects, environmental projects. Middle East වගේ රටවල් වල මේ project එකෙන් මේ different types වලට specification වෙනස්. මේ වලට dominant කරන contractors ලා වෙනස්, consultants ලා වෙනස්. ඒකින්ද අපිට මේ project ගැන අවබෝධයක් තියෙනුනේ හැම project එකක් ගැනම. මොකද මේ වල specification එකින් එකට වෙනස්. දැන් hospitality and infrastructure airport projects ගත්තම ගොඩක් complicated. This slide also I put to especially for the fresh engineers. This is the basic structure of the project. In projects, this is the main internal stakeholders of the project. That's a project developer who own the project. We call project developer. Then project management team. A project management team. They are separate team. Then if it is hotel like Hilton or Shangri-La, hotel operator also they are separately. Then developer and operator is two entities. Sometimes they are one company. Then consultancy team. Sometimes consultancy team reported to the director to the developer. Sometimes they are reporting to the project management team. Then main contractor. Mainly civil contractors will become as the main contractors. Then subcontractors there, suppliers are there. In Middle East, sometimes some suppliers have been handled direct by the project management team. Sometimes main contractors, sometimes subcontractors. You can see these three options. In Sri Lanka also same. Samahara material client directly purchase කරනවා, සමහරලාට main contractor purchase කරනවා, bidding process එකක් ගිහිල්ලා වෙනවා, ගොඩක් වෙලාවට subcontractor තමයි purchase කරන්නේ. Right? Factors to be considered to select the project. When we select the project, these are the factors we should consider. It means this is from developers also, consultants also, contractors also. They should study about that. The scale of the projects. Project එක scale එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඒ scale එක අපිට පුළුවන් නම් විතරයි as a contractors bid එකට participate කරන්න ඕනේ. Developers ලා also මේ scale එක දැනගෙන තමයි project එක develop කරන්න බයි. යන්න. Level of complexity. සමහර projects තියෙනවා special projects. සමහර ඒ knowledge එක නැහැ contractors ලාට කරන්න, consultants ලාටත් නැහැ. අපි ඒකින්ද අපි we should well aware of level of complexity. Again, hospitality, international 5-star hospital එකක්, airport එකක් වගේ වගත්තා මේ වල complexity level එක වැඩි, technical පැත්තේ. Timeline එක අපි study කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ timeline එකේ අපිට මේ project එක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේක contractors ලටත් එකයි, developers ලටත් එකයි, consultants ලටත් එකයි. Risk profile. This risk assessment also very important. We should I will explain later what's the risk assessment very briefly. Then the budget. අපි budget එකක් හැමතිස්සෙම මේ project එකේ budget එකත් එක්ක ඉන්න ඕනේ. අපිට මේ project එක කරන්න පුළුවන්ද බැයිද කියලා දැනගන්න. Potential rewards. It's mean return of investment, how long lasts the project, etc. These are the key factors to be considered when we select the projects in terms of contractor, developer, consultants, project management firms. Pre-construction. This is the project phases we can see normally. Project proposal ඉස්සලාමේ project proposal එකක් හදනවා. ඒකෙන් තමයි අපි enter වෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට necessary approvals from authorities on the government or sometime from the government. Then after these things, design stage will start. Design stage. After complete the design, then tender stage. After the tender, construction will start. Then commissioning stage. Then handing over stage. I think this is all of you know about this process. මෙන්න මේ period එක තමයි අපිට pre-construction period එක කියලා ගොඩක් කලාවට identify වෙන්නේ. Pre-construction කියන්නේ design stage එකේ ඉඳලා tender stage එක විතරක් නෙමේ, part of construction stage also we have to cover during pre-construction period. ගොඩක් අය හිතන් ඉන්නේ මෙන්න මේ period එකේ විතරයි මේක මෙව වෙන්නේ කියලා. tender stage එකයි විතරයි කියලා. එහෙම නැහැ. Also, when I come in Sri Lanka, some companies I have noticed they are practicing pre-construction department and pre-construction team. But when you go to the, as Nalin explained, when you go to the Middle East, that pre-construction phases are totally different. ගොඩක් කරලා ලංකාවේ මේ design and estimation එකටත් pre-construction team එක කියලා කියනවා. ඒක වැරදි. Right? මේගොල්ලන්ට construction stage එකෙත් මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ලොකු role එකක් තියෙනවා. මම ඒක explain කරන්නම් pre construction වලදී මොනවද tools කියලා use කරන්නේ. එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙයි මේ අපි ලංකාවේ හිතන් ඉන්න එක නෙමෙයි pre construction කියන්නේ කියලා. right? ඊට පස්සේ then post construction. මෙතන තියෙනවා මේ common area එකක්. මේ teams දෙක හරි මේ phases දෙක mix වෙනවා. right? I will explain later. So pre-construction stage, in contracting point of view, pre-qualification process, then technical bid, commercial bid. Under commercial bid, normally international projects, big project, they call for 2 bids, base bids and value engineering bid. I will explain later what's the value engineering. Base bid as 100% as per the tender documents. Value engineering proposal is an alternative proposal which reduce the cost and keep in requirement same as per the employer requirement. So tender documents, normally tender documents includes this general specification, technical specification, tender drawings and BOQ. General මම මෙතන පොඩ්ඩක් සිංහලෙන් කියන්න. මේ general specification එකයි technical specification එකයි කියලා දෙකක් තියෙනවා. මේ general specification එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට familiar හැම project මේ ලංකාවේ හැම project එකකම මේක තියෙනවා. මේකේ තමයි ඒ කියන්නේ මොන හරි අපි system එකකට project එක ගැනේ system එකකට ගියා මේ system එකේ තියෙන methodology එක. මේකේ workmanship එක. මේක testing commission කරන්නේ කොහොමද? මොනවා ඒ කියන්නේ මොනවාද standards, guidelines අපි follow කරන්න people ලියපු story book එක narrative එක. ඒකට අපි කියනවා middle east වල ඕකට සමහරවිට narrative කියලා කියනවා ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. ඕක තමයි general specification එක කියන්නේ. Technical specification එක කියලා කියන්නේ අපි ගමුකෝ generator package එක මේ generator size එක generator තියෙන equipments ගැන detail කරලා තියෙනවා. සමහරවිට brand refer කරා, model numbers refer කරා. ඒක තමයි technical specification එක කියන්නේ. එතකොට there are in big projects and key projects these 2 specifications should be there. Then tender drawings. Tender drawings එකේදී single line drawings are very important. Single line drawings tell you the methodology of the system, how it works. Then BOQ. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන then award the contractor. Then ඊට අපි bidder select කරගන්නවා. This is tender stage. After the tender, construction stage will start. This is construction will start. This is pre-construction team. This is post-construction team. All big projects in international practice, there are 2 teams, pre-construction team and post-construction team. During the construction period also, this pre-construction team will occupy to the project and they will make sure proper transition to post-construction team. Therefore, some initial phase, initial stage, both teams are there for proper transmission. Yeah. මම මේකේ theory part එක ගොඩක් කරන්න යන්නේ. මේකේ තියෙන්නේ ඒ බැටන් එක හරියට change කරනවා smoothly මේකේ delay එකක් නැතුව යන්න. මේ pre construction team එක මේ වෙලාවේ support කරන එක post construction team එකට හරිම lazy. ඒගොල්ලන්ට perform කරන්න පුළුවන්. timeline එක ලස්සනට ඒ විදිහට comply කරගෙන යන්න පුළුවන්. right? Pre construction checklist. Pre-construction checklist. During pre-construction period, there is an opportunity to work together with developers, consultants, project managers, and bidding team. It's pre-construction team. Therefore, initial meeting to discuss project detail, including internal and external objectives. එතකොට මේ හැම project එකකටම තියෙන objectives client ගේ පැත්තේ. මේ objectives ටික හරියට දැනගත්තම මේ bidders ලට හරිම ලේසි හොඳ proposal එකක් දෙන්න. ඒවා pre qualification වලට හොඳයි. මේක නැත්තම් අර අපි නිකන් price එකක් දීලා submit කරලා job එක discount එකක් දීලා job එක ගන්නවා වගේ නෙමෙයි. මේක අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ ඩුබායි මිඩල් ඊස්ට් ප්‍රොජෙක්ට්ස් කරද්දි මේ දෙක එකට සින්ක්‍රොනයිස් වෙනවා. මේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව්ස් ටික දැනගන්න ඕනේ. මොකද ඔය ඕගොල්ලන් බිඩ් එකේ බිඩ් ඉන්ටර්විව්ස් කියලා යනවා ඩුබායි වල. there are bid interviews also. මේ බිඩ් ඉන්ටර්විව්ස් එකේදී මේ වලට මාක්ස් දෙනවා වෙනම. එයාට තමයි ජොබ් එකේ එයාට අවෝඩ් වෙද්දි ප්‍රයිස් එකට විතරක් නෙමෙයි මේ ඔක්කොම සලකනවා. එතකොට මේක හරි ඉම්පෝර්ටන්ට් මේක දැනගන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ එතකොට if you are going Middle East countries or international you should know these things. Planning the process during pre-construction period or මේ මුළු construction එකම plan එකක් හදලා තියා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක project time frame එක you have to plan the project from construction starting time to the handover. job එක හම්බුණා නැතව බිඩගෙනෙක් හැටියට ඒක ඉල්ලුවත් නැතත් ඔයා ලස්සනට හදලා තියන්න ඕනේ වගේ plan එක. Estimating the cost and offering cost saving options. මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් කරන එකෙන් මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් අනිවාර්යෙන් pre-construction team එක කරන්න ඕනේ. මේවා client ලා ඔය bid interviews වලදී එහෙම they are considering this. Managing the project scope. You should that pre-construct contractors should know their scope and they should manage that. Managing RFIs comprehensively. RFIs කියන එක මම හිතන්නේ construction ඉන්න ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා ඇති request for information. These RFIs are very important. මේ RFIs මම මෙතන ආයෙ සිංහලෙන් පොඩ්ඩක් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට explain කරන්න. මේ RFIs ගොඩාක් දේවල් play කරනවා. මේක ඇත්තටම request for information විතරක් නෙමෙයි. අපි කියන්නේ අපිට ඉන්ෆර්මේෂන් එකක් ගන්න විතරක් නෙමෙයි RF එකක් ගන්න. සමහරවිට අපිට අනිත් බිඩර්ස්ලා අවෙයා කරන්න ඕනේ. මෙන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක් තියෙනවා. ඒක අපිට කොස් ඉම්පැක්ට් එකක් වෙනවා. අනිත් අය දන්නේ නැත්නම් අපිට ඒක ඩිස්ඇඩ්වාන්ටේජ් එකක් නේ. අපි දැනුවත් කිරීමටත් දානවා. ඒතර මේ සමහර RFIs තියෙනවා ටෙන්ඩරින් ස්ටේජ් එකේ රේස් කරපු ඒවා. ඇත්තට මේවා තියෙන ටෙන්ඩරින් ස්ටේජ් someone race. හැබැයි ඒවා handing over ස්ටේජ් එකේ successful bidder variation ගන්න උදව් කරපු RFIs තියෙනවා. We have that experience in Middle East. Determine any value engineering options. I will explain later what's value engineering. Checking the existing utilities. Some projects are there, they design, but during pre-construction period, sometime utility power, water supply to the project, I mean after the construction, not sufficient. Therefore, during pre-construction period, that opportunity, they have the developer and the contractors has that opportunity to raise up those risks, existing utilities. So, නැත්නම් සමහර projects තියෙනවා මම නම කියන්නේ goal වල ලොකු project එකක් ඉවරුණා 5 star. ඒ project එක ඉවර කරලා වුණාම දැනගන්න පුළුවන් වුණා මේ goal වල තියෙන water supply එක මදි ඒ project එකට cater කරන්න. 5 star hotel එක තාම ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙන water plant එකක් වෙනම කරන් තමයි project එක complete කරේ. right? ඒ කියන්නේ during pre-construction period no one identified that. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ checklist එකක් ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. right? Determine the equipment required, check the green building options and viability when you do the international projects. These green building concepts are very important. Therefore, you should very well aware of green building options and what are the requirements they mention in the specification and the viability to achieve these green building concepts. Some green building concepts are there in the specification is there, but for the region it cannot be achieved. Then you should raise that. Life cycle analysis of the project, risk assessment and mitigation plan. මම හිතන්නේ මම ඔය risk assessment ගැන මෙතන explain කරන්න යන්නේ. I believe you all should know what is the risk assessment of the projects and the mitigation plan. During the construction period, the developer is collecting risk registers from each bidders and during pre-construction period, and they will prepare the mitigation plan. අපි සමහර project එක යද්දි loss වෙච්ච bidder කෙනෙක් හදපු risk එකක register අපි client ගාව තියෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට helpful වෙනවා එයා successful bid එකක් යද්දි. ඒතර මේ risk assessment and mitigation plan is a very important. Those are the pre-construction checklist have to be prepared during pre-construction period. Benefits of pre-construction. These are the benefits we can achieve from pre-construction. provide more accuracy and detail of the project cost. During the design, consultancy side or project management side, QSR, they are making engineering estimation. I think you have very good knowledge about engineering estimation. Once project execution phase come, big differences are there. Yeah, we have to reduce that gap. Therefore, pre-construction processes are very important to reduce that gaps. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි pre-construction period එකේ ඇත්තටම ටිකක් tendering stage එකට යහට ගිහිල්ලා study කරලා specification බලලා හොඳට price කරනවා. price gaps සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි ඒතර time frame එකකුත් දා ගන්නවා. ඒ කියන්නේ project එක comment start වෙන්නේ after 1 year නම් අපි ඒ 1 year වලදී කොහොමද material cost උඩ යන්නේ කියලා ඒවත් analyze කරනවා. ඒවත් එක දාගද්දි මේ project cost එක මේ project එක construction start කරන්න කලින් pre-construction period එකේ මෙනවා budget මේ engineering estimation එක ඇතිද මදිද කියලා tender එක ගිහිල්ලා ඉවරටකම් බලන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ආයෙ retender කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. Right? Removal of many unknown variables for the client. It means time. Again, cost. මේ වගේ unknown variables remove කරන්න පුළුවන්. client ගේ පැත්තෙන්. ඒක client හම්බ වෙන pre-construction period එක ලොකු වාසියක්. Generally, when you run proper pre-construction period during the tendering stage, there's an additional cost. But the benefits, value of the benefit is higher than that cost. Right? Provide a clear picture of what the project will look and how it will get it done. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට මුළු project එකේම total image picture එක අපිට හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් pre-construction period කොහොමද මේක ඉවර වෙන්නේ මොනවාද අපිට එන ප්‍රශ්න අපි කොහොමද මේක මේවා කරන්න කියලා. Right? Provide contractor to present potential option for cost savings and value engineering options. Why I mentioned cost savings and value engineering options, some people misunderstanding that cost savings and value engineering are in that single topic. No, it's different. I will explain later. When it's come to the value engineering, I will brief about that. Then I will explain that. මේ දෙක දෙකක්. Right? Provide opportunity to bidders to present their qualifications and competence to complete the project. මේ pre-construction period එකේදී හම්බ වෙනවා contractors opportunity එක ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ qualification highlight කරන්න. මොකද මේ pre-construction checklist එකක් කියලා එකක් තියෙනවානේ. මේ checklist එකට මේ developers ලා project management companies international level they have a marking scheme for that. ඒකින්ද මේ අර අනවශ්‍ය ඒ කියන්නේ capacity එකක් නැති වැඩි study සමහර අය ඉන්නවා tender එකට එනවා කිසිම දෙයක් study කරලා නැහැ price එකක් දෙනවා job එකක් ගන්න බලනවා. එතකොට අර හොඳ contractors ලට opportunity එකක් දෙනවා marking scheme එකේදී ඒගොල්ලන්ව qualify කරගන්න මේ pre-construction එකෙන්. Right? එතකොට these are the main benefits of pre-construction. But if you have experience with pre-construction, there are many benefits. සමහර benefits තියෙනවා අපිට කොහෙවත් ලියලා කියන්න බෑ. හැබැයි අපි experience එකෙන් project එකක් කරද්දි මීට වඩා වැඩිපුර benefits අපිට practice කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? As I explained, this is some examples. What have been designed and after run the pre-construction period, what has been happened. As I explained before, this is Cleveland Clinic 7-star hospital in Abu Dhabi. I think whoever living in UAE, especially Abu Dhabi, they know this project. This is the design stage image. Why I rounded this block? This is administration building. Actually, this project has 5 or 7 buildings together. You can see all together. These are blocks and patient tower. Now I forget what are the actual things. This is administration building. It's an isolated building. This is the after execution. This is the real image. Yeah, not recently. Some years back. You can see this admin building is disappeared. This is the result of pre-construction. Yeah. During the pre-construction period, they realize as a value engineering options, this can be omitted and cost savings and the viability. Yeah. So therefore, they cancel this administration building and the spaces they occupied inside to the other buildings. So it is completely disappeared. I do remember during that time, they did a tender amendment also to price again without that, especially in civil. Yeah. So this is another example. This is called Tamir Towers. The consultant and project manager is AECOM. So this is in Ream Island. This project 2009. We have participated to the pre-bidding stage. This is the latest one. No buildings. It means after pre-construction, this project completely cancelled because we have got the job. Our company has got the job. We worked there during pre-construction period. We worked there 8 months for this project. Under pre-construction, nothing started, but we have a construction office. We have been there a couple of months. In our company, spent couple of millions dollars for this. But finally, entire project is gone out due to this is not viable at that time. The reason is global financial crisis hit to the UAE. Then they studied for this years. This project is not viable. Actually, this project is mixed development, commercial, hotel, that's my residential, shopping mall and hotels. It's completely gone. These are the real experience. Again, ගොඩක් ලොකු දේවල් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් පොඩි දේවල් වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් pre-construction period එකක් පස්සේ. නැත්තම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙන්නේ මේ මුල ඩිසයින් එකම එක්සිකියුට් කරන්න යනවා ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ මගදී ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එක හිර වෙලා. එතකොට මේ ලංකාවේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට මේ වගේ දේවල් වෙනවා. يعني මගදී කැන්සල් කරන්න යනවා. එතකොට බෑ. මේක අර pre-construction period එකේ තමයි මේක අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? So this one also I think if you have only Sri Lankan experience, you might, I believe you don't know about this model. If you have Middle East experience, you know this model. This is another model, pre-construction model, TD, DD, CD. මම මේක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියන්නේ experience වලින් මේ වගේ දේවල් ඔයගොල්ලෝ aware වෙලා ඉන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොන හරි වෙලාවක ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඉන්ඩිවිජුවල් මොන හරි කම්පැනි එකකට වර්ක් කරද්දී හරි සමහරලාට ඔයගොල්ලෝ බිස්නස් අපි construction when we talk about the මම මෙතන මේක explain කරන්න construction company එකක් ගැන අපි කතා කරද්දී construction company එකේ business development role එක හරිම important. business development එක තියෙන්නේ ඇත්තටම pre-construction එක ඇතුලේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. Right? එතකොට අපි මේ suppliers ලගේ පැත්තේ නෙමෙයි real business development හොඳ tool practice වෙන්නේ construction firm වල. මම ලංකාව ගොඩක් වෙලාවට දැකලා නැහැ මේ හොඳ tools practice කරන අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කරන්නේ මොකක් හරි දෙයක් කරලා discount එකක් දීලා relationship එකක් හදාගෙන ඒක තමයි business සම්පූර්ණ වෙනස් ඩුබායි මිඩ්ල් ඊස්ට් වල ඕවා කොහොමත්ම කරන්න බෑ. Right? ඒව වෙන්නේ සමහර ලොකු level වලින් ඒවා මේ company ඇතුළට අදාළ නැහැ. එතකොට මෙව තමයි අපි දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන tools. ඒතර මෙව ඔයගොල්ලන්ට හොඳට කැරියර් එක perform කරන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් වැදගත්. ඒතර මෙව කොහෙවත් ලියවිලා නැහැ. මෙව ඉන්නේ experience වලින් අපි මේ practice කරපුවා. එතකොට unfortunately මම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට 2013 වෙද්දී ඔය construction field වලින් ඩුබායි වලින් ආවා. හැබැයි මම දැන් තියෙන interest මම business consultancy කරන වගේ ඒ වලට කරන හින්දා මම මේව තාම study කරනවා. Right? මේ TD DD CT TD කියන්නේ tender design එක. Design development DD කියන්නේ design development, CD කියන්නේ construction design එක. එතකොට මේ ඕගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා මෙතන පේනවා මේ තියෙන design stage එක. Right? හැබැයි ඔයාලට පේනවා මේ design stage එක ඉවරනකන් ඉන්නේ construction පටන් ගන්න. මේ මගදී construction පටන් ගන්න. මේ තියෙන්නේ initial stage එක design එක 0. ඊට පස්සේ ඔන්න consultants there are consultants and the client teams, they will start the design. Then once 30% design done, they will release the tender documents for the bidding process with 30% design, not 100%. Then these bidders will participate to the financial bid. මේ 0 ඉඳලා 30 වෙනකම් pre-qualification process එකක් යනවා. Again, මුලදී 10 numbers of contractors will participate into the pre-qualification process, right? ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ pre-qualification එකෙන් පස්සේ they will shortlist the contractors and decide who will participate to the pre-construction period. In Dubai, normally this pre-construction bidding, they will only take 3-4 companies only, and sometimes 5. Yeah. And මෙතනදී මේගොල්ලන්ගේ pre-qualification process එක ඉවරයි. මෙතන shortlist කරගන්නවා. ඔන්න දැන් bidders ලා මේගොල්ලෝ participate කරගන්නවා මේකට. මේ 30% ඉඳලා 70% යද්දි මේගොල්ලෝ tender stage එක ඉවර කරනවා. එතකොට මේ all shortlisted contractors will participate to this stage, right? මේ 70% design එක මේ 30% ඉඳලා 70% එද්දි මේකේ 50% role එකක් කරනවා consultants ලා. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ අනිත් 50% මෙතන ඉන්නෝනේ pre qualified වෙච්ච contractors ලා. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ pre construction team එකත් එක්ක එකට වැඩ කරන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒතකොට ටිකක් complicated consultant ලාට මොකද එක්කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයිනේ ගොඩක් ඉන්නවා. ඒතර ඒ ඔක්කොංගෙම මේගොල්ලෝ ideas අරගෙන මේගොල්ලෝ තව design එක fine tune කරනවා, cost savings method study කරනවා, මේගොල්ලෝ value engineering options දාගන්නවා. They will engage with suppliers, system integrators එක්ක මේගොල්ලෝ හොඳ successful journey එකක් යනවා. මෙතනට වෙනකම්. When it's come to the 70%, මේක මම මේ percentage මේක දාගත්තේ අපි කරපු project එක තිබ්බ එක. මේක සමහරවිට වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. 50-100 යන්නත් පුළුවන්. සමහරවිට 40-80-100 යන්නත් පුළුවන්. This is for the example for the one of our projects in Dubai, especially that we call New York University Abu Dhabi, what I explained before. So that මෙතනදී මේගොල්ලෝ ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ contractor award කරනවා. හැබැයි ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙ 30% එකක් තියෙනවනේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේ select කරගත්ත බිඩත් එක්ක they will finish balance design. Now only the design stage is over, right? ඊට පස්සේ මෙතනට වෙද්දි තමයි මේගොල්ලෝ design එක over වෙන්නේ. But එතකොට මෙන්න මේ model එකත් ඕගොල්ලන්ට Middle East රටවල් වල දකින්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මේකෙන් ගොඩක් benefits එනවා. Complex for the project management firms and the consultants. But they are paying for that. මේ additional payment වලට වඩා සමහරවිට project management team එකට තමයි ගොඩක් coordination එකක් තියෙන්නේ. ඒවන්ට benefits ගොඩක් හම්බ වෙනවා project වල. Right? This is the real case study for that concept. Yeah, this is the project I have been participating in type මෙන්න මට වාසනාවකට මේ period එකටම මට මේකට මේ වෙන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. මම ඇත්තටම ඩුබායි වලින් resign වුණේ මේ project එකේ අතරමඟදී තමයි මම resign වෙලා ආවේ. Right? එතකොට මේක this project is New York University Saadiyat Island Abu Dhabi. This is the same branch of New York University in USA. Client and employer New York University USA. Architect, a project management company, consultancy, Rafael Vinoli Architect USA. If you have about US experience with USA, this is one of leading architect firm who has මේගොල්ලන්ගේ umbrella එකේ ඔක්කොම services ටික තියෙනවා. Very big company, Rafael Vinoli. Main contractor was Al-Futtaim Carolian. At that time, they are the #1 main contractor in Middle East. Al-Futtaim is the local law. Carolian is the French company. ඔගොල්ලෝ ඩුබායි වලදී ගොඩක් වෙලාවට හම්බෙන්නේ ගොඩක් companies තියෙන්නේ JV ලොකු companies. JV කියන්නේ local sponsor කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා local ලාම් එකක්. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට international firm එකක් එක්ක JV එකක් ගහගෙන ඉන්නේ. ඒක මම ඒක explain කරන්න යන්නේ. If you have Dubai experience ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක මේ වගේ ඒක එච්චරම important නෑ. මෙතන MEP contract is BK Gulf LLC. This it means our company. So benefits. As I explain, I need to explain this. When you run this model, you will have same benefits as I explained in the pre-construction. Top of that, ඕගොල්ලන්ට මෙතන design consultancy fee එක reduce වෙනවා. ඒ consultants ඇත්තටම මෙතන විතරනේ යා තනියෙන් කරන්නේ. මේක යන්නේ joint exercise එකක්. මෙයාගේ scope එක පොඩ්ඩක් අඩු කරනවා. මොකද අපේ ලංකාවේ consultancy firms වලට වගේ නෙමෙයි මේ වල payment terms ගොඩක් ලොකුයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ලොකු major pay ඒ කියන්නේ ලොකු payments තමයි මේගොල්ලන්ට යන්නේ consultancy firm වලට. ඒකට මෙයාට මේක මෙයාගේ මේ fee එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් අඩු කරගත්තා. ඒකේ පැත්තේ cost saving එකක් කරගත්තා client. Get value addition to the project from qualified bidders. ඒ කියන්නේ අර මම explain කරා වගේ qualified bidders, pre-qualified bidders lagin again contractors, solution providers like again, especially when you talk to the IT ELV systems, and we call solution providers and integrators like IT system, the key manufacturers. May okkangam inputs they are collecting during the pre-construction, that benefits can be added to the project. May it was it. May ඔක්කොම ටික එකට එකහු කරගෙන මේ ඔක්කොම ඇනලයිස් කරලා risk factors end of the day අපිට successful project එකක් deliver කරගන්න පුළුවන්. නැත්තම් ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙන්නේ ඔය ලංකාවේ ඔයගලන්ට තියෙන experience එක අනුව design කරලා තියෙන එකත් ඒක execute කරන්න නැති totally different technology එක වෙනස්. ඒ design කරපු ඒවා ගාව manufacturers ලා නේ ගොඩක් projects වලට ඔයගලන්ට international experience දෙකේම experience තියෙනවනම් මම මේ කියන කතාව හොඳට ඔයගලන්ට තේරෙනවා. right? Early startup of initial civil work. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන අපිට මේ ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරනකන් ඉන්න එපා general conventional method එකට construction start කරන්න. ඒතර හැබැයි මෙන්න මේ project එකේ මේ මම case study එකට ගත්ත නිව්යෝර්ක් යුනිවර්සිටි එකේ මෙතනදිම client මෙන්න මේ හරියදිම මේ 10% විතර design එකෙද්දි මෙයා start up කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා පයිලින් ගහලා ඒ ටික nominate කරගෙන subcontractors ලා මෙයා වෙනම journey එකක් යනවා. right? ඒතර මේ ඔක්කොම ඉවරකම් ඉන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. project එක චුට්ටු පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතකොට අර time frame එක අපිට mitigate කරලා reduce කරගන්න පුළුවන්. right? Then I will explain brief about the value engineering. Value engineering is a system. This is the general definition of the value engineering. If you have knowledge about value engineering theory wise, I think you know that value engineering is a systematic, organized approach to providing necessary function in a project at the lowest cost or less cost. Through case study, I will use a couple of examples. Value engineering promotes substitution of the materials and methods with less expensive alternatives without sacrificing functionality. Client requirement එක ලොකුවට client requirement එකට harm කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. right? Value engineering is the review of new existing products during the design stage. මම මේක මේ underline කරන් ඉන්නේ මට මෙන්න මේක මම ආයෙ ඔයගලන්ට මේ සිංහලෙන් explain කරන්න හොඳට අහගන්න. ගොඩක් අය value internationally value engineering කියනවා අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි ලංකාවේ දින value engineering අපි when I came to Sri Lanka 2012 මේ value engineering කියන එක හරි අපි construction එකේදී වැඩි ඇහුන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි දැන් නම් ගොඩක් තැන් වල ඇහෙනවා. But when we went to Dubai 2005 also we know these terms very well. මේ value engineering කියන එක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට apply වෙන්නේ design and tendering stage එකේදී. ඒ කියන්නේ execution එක පටන් ගන්න කලින්. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් value engineering අපි practice කරන්නේ construction පටන් ගත්තට පස්සේ. හැබැයි අපිට ඒක එහෙම නැහැයිම ඒක practice එකක්. theory එකෙන් එහෙම බෑයි කියලා කියන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි අර value engineering option ඔක්කොම අපි identify කරන් ඉන්න ඕනේ අර tendering stage එකේ. ඒ කියන්නේ design stage එක, tendering stage එක, especially pre-construction stage එකේදී. cost අපි පස්සේ වෙනස් කරනවා අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කියන්නේ cost saving options කියලා. අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඒක කියන්නේ. right? With value engineering cost reduction should not මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා explain කරා වගේ මේක project එකේ quality එකට එහෙම harmful effect එකක් වෙන්න බෑ. right? මම ඔයගලන්ට දෙන්නම් පොඩි example එකක් මේ value engineering කියන එකට MEP in MEP context. This project, as I explained before, Atlantis package bus duct system in power distribution system. I think in MEP engineers know what is the bus duct system. Normally for the distribute the power, duct system, bar system will be used instead of cables. In this project, when the project again, substation in ground level again. Because risers, there are two risers in this project, this riser and this riser. Original design is only risers, මේ bus risers දෙකයි තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ මේ room මේ ඔක්කොම corridors වල මේක මේ එක riser එකක් ගත්තම wings තුනක් තියෙනවා. එකයි දෙකයි පිටිපස්සේ පැත්තේ පොඩි එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒතර තුනයි. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලන්ගේ ඔරිජිනල් ඩිසයින් එකේ තිබි රයිස් එක විතරයි. මේ ඔක්කොම යන්නේ කේබල්ස් වලින්. කේබල්ස් වලින් ගිහිල්ලා වෙනම සිස්ටම් එකක්. ඔය ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිකල් ඉන්ජිනියර්ස්ලාට මම මෙතන තියරි එක එක්ස්ප්ලেইন නොකරන හින්දා මේ ඉලෙක්ට්‍රිකල් ඉන්ජිනියර්ස්ලා දන්නවා මේ සිස්ටම් එක කොහොමද වර්ක් කරන්න කියලා. මේක තමයි ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකේ ඔරිජිනල් ඩිසයින් එකේ තිබ්බේ. Then BK Gulf did value engineering during the pre-construction period of this project. What we proposed entire bus bar system. Is me rises also bus bar. This horizontal through the me corridors dige me guest corridors dige run වෙන්නේ bus bars. ඒතර මේ bus bars මේ මුළු project එකේම තිබ්බ ඔක්කොම එක්කව කරාම මොකද මේ more than 35 kilometers මේ length එකක් හැදෙන ඔක්කොම bus bars එක්කව කරද්දි මේ project එකේ. ඒතර කාර් හරි හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් bus bars are so expensive. අපි ඒ වුණාට construction cost එක හදන්නේ එහෙම නෙමෙයි. Not only material, insulation cost. Cables දාගෙන ඇති ලොකු insulation cost එකක් යන්න වෙනවා, containment යන්න ඕනේ. අපි ඊට පස්සේ මේ when consider total bus bar system and mix of bus bar and power supply, cost saving එකක් තියෙනවා. Around 20 to 25 or so savings we have achieved at that time, right? එතකොට මේකෙන් උනේ මේ cost එක විතර නෙමෙයි අඩු වෙන්නේ. මේ bus bar system එකේ quality එකත් වැඩි. ඔය electrical engineers ලෙම දන්නවා මේකේ මේ power distribution එක කතාව. එතකොට මේකේ quality එකත් වැඩි, right? එතකොට මෙන්න මේ තියෙන්නේ එක example එකක් value engineering වලට. එතකොට ඒක civil මම MEP මේ examples ගන්න as I am an MEP engineer for civil works and similar matters you can apply. ඊට පස්සේ then මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ Middle East in this project we have practice about fee fabrication, containment and modular wiring. ඔයගොල්ලෝ Middle East වල work කරන්න යනවා නම් මෙන්න මේක පොඩ්ඩක් දැනගෙන ඉන්න. මේගොල්ලෝ heavily practice කරනවා මේක, right? අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපේ MEP services run වෙන්නේ අපි site එකට ගෙනල්ලා containments ටික ගහනවා. අපි containment ටික ඒකේ lay කරනවා, cables අදිනවා, pipe ටික එලනවා. ඔක්කොම site එකේ තමයි කරන්නේ, right? ඔය conventional method. Wiring උත් අපි final wiring කරන්නේ apartment project එකක් ගත්තොත් we have distribution boards inside the apartments, then we lay the cables at the site, right? In Dubai, actually this has been introduced to the Dubai by BK Gulf 2010. They have first fee fabrication factory. මේගොල්ලෝ factory එකේදීම හදනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි service corridor එකක් ගත්තම මේ service corridor එකේ ඔක්කොම coordinate, we will get the coordinated drawings, MEP coordinated drawing එක ගෙනියලා මේ factory එකේ ඒ dimension එකට මේ services තුනම හදනවා. cable lay කරන්නේ, pipe ducts ඔක්කොම ටික මේවා කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මේගොල්ලෝ මේක ගෙනල්ලා site එකේ එල්ලන් යන එක තමයි site එකේ hang කරන් යන එක තමයි කරන්නේ. ඒකද මේකේ ලොකු time saving එකක් තියෙනවා, quality එකත් වැඩි. ඒතර මේ වලින් cost savings, time saving and the quality එක ගොඩක් වැඩි. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ වගේ methods use කරේ ඒ දවස් BK Gulf එක තමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම පටන් ගත්තේ. Because of this method practice 2010 BK Gulf got 3 big projects during pre-qualification process due to this method. So අනිත් practice කරලා තිබ්බනේ අපිට ලොකු projects තුනක් හම්බුණා. අපිට ඔය නිව්යෝර්ක් යුනිවර්සිටි එක it get helpful. මෙන්න මේක අපිට help වුණා. Eastern Mangrove කියලා ලොකු project එකක් තිබ්බා. ඔය ඩුබයි වලින් අය දන්නවා නම් දන්නේ. වගේ ලොකු project අපිට මෙව වුණා. ඒතර මේ වගේ value engineering tools practice කරන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ, right? මම මෙතන පොඩි මේකක් පෙන්නන්න. සමහර අයට එච්චර I think some of you not aware of this prefabrication, especially fresh engineers. ඔයගලන්ට මේකෙන් තේරෙයි මම මොකක්ද explain කරේ කියලා.
BK Gulf's modular systems division was established in 2000. We can produce up to 1,800 modules a month. At the moment, we're running easily within kind of 1,200 to 1,400 modules in production in a month, and that's purely just for our standard corridor riser modules. In addition to that, we probably have around about 15,000 and see the market improving quite radically when it comes to prefabrication off-site construction. I think that's partly driven by the market. Like UAE, there still are good projects.
So that I think who doesn't know about fee fabrication, I think you might you got some idea about from that video. I think you understood the quality at the sites, how it is installation have been done. මෙන්න මේ වගේ methods ගොඩක් දැන් නම් දුබයි වල ගොඩක් මේ construction වල මේව follow කරනවා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඒ කියන්නේ මේව ගැන aware වෙලා ඉන්න. මේකෙදි time ලොකු time එකක් save වෙනවා site එකේ. ඒතකොට site එකේ සමහරවල් skill labors number of labors ගොඩක් අඩු කරා එකේ. සමහරලාට ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ වැඩේට ඕන අය 70% විතර අඩු කරන්න පුළුවන් site එකේ. Right? So this is so that almost my explanations and session is over. මේකෙදී මට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ඔයගලන්ට theory නෙමෙයි කියන්න පුළුවන් උනේ. Theory නෙමෙයි මම what I mean to not to explain about the theories. So I need to share experience and some tools you have to practice. මොකද්ද construction market එක in the future globally තියෙන්නේ fresh engineers ලට ලංකාවේ බය වෙන්න engineers ලට බය වෙන්න ඕනේ අපිට දැන් ඉවරයි එහෙම කියලා engineer කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ global character එකක් global කියන්නේ ඒක තව ඒක පොඩි ගම්මානයක් වගේ දැන් opportunities ඕන තරම් තියෙනවා ඉස්සරහටත් opportunities ඕන තරම් එනවා හැබැයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ready වෙලා ඉන්න ඕනේ ඒකට ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක ready වෙලා ඉන්න. ඒතර fresh engineers ලටත් experienced engineers ලටත් opportunities එනවා worldwide. හැබැයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ evolve වෙන්න ඕනේ, dynamic වෙන්න ඕනේ. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ලංකාවේ විතරක් හිටපුවම තමයි ලොකු gaps තියෙනවා. අපි එහෙම ගොඩක් වෙලාවට දුබයි වල දැකලා තියෙනවා. සමහරවිට ගොඩක් experience තියෙන engineers ලා අපිටත් වඩා experience අයව සමහරවිට හම්බ වෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලෝ අර ලංකාවේ ඉඳලා මේක මම මේ එච්චර කියන්න කැමතිත් නැහැ. ඒනකොට අපි මේවා කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. මේ අපි සමහරලාවට දකිනවා අපිටත් වඩා එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් තියෙන අපේ කැම්පස් වල සීනියර්ස් ලා ගොඩක්. හැබැයි මේගොල්ලෝ අර ලංකාවේ ඉඳලා අර ලිඳ ඇතුළේ ඉඳලාම වගේ තමයි. ඒතර පොඩ්ඩක් එළියට ගියාම චුට්ටක් අමාරුයි. සමහර අය වෙනස් වෙන්න කැමතිත් නැහැ. ඒනොට එහෙම හිතන්න එපා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ අර මම ඔයගලන්ට කිව්වේ out of the box හිතන්න කියලා. opportunities තියෙනවා. ඒකින්ද එහෙම මුකුත් බය වෙන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. construction industry එකේ ඉන්න opportunities are there. So Nalin?
Yeah, I think Minoj, your final message, I think would have been spoken out in English as well. I think that is very important. That the conventional engineer and how he or she has to move forward. Please. There are some non-Sinhala audience as well. So please.
Okay. So what I explain was in Sinhala. I explain in Sinhala because we have to discuss about the truth. Yeah. During my life in UAE and still when I travel, sometimes we engage with a lot of engineers in Sri Lanka who doesn't have international exposure. So that some engineers are much experienced than us. Recently I did some project management tools to the one of leading government body for a project as a model project management. Then we got to know about our engineers are already statistics. It's not dynamic. So those engineers, when they go to the, especially in international level, you will have a lot of challenges and you can't cross the barriers. Yeah. Therefore, you should be dynamic and you should evolve and you should listen to the new technology, and also you should not be some engineers we have seen, they have set up their own boundaries. They only work inside that. No, you cannot work like that when you go to the international market. So you have to study, as I explained in this lecture series, several slides. You have to study about engineering in international market. You have to study. Sometimes it is not part of your job, but you have to, you should know what is happening there. Outside world or outside your organization, what is happening? This is not to mention to change the jobs for the jump in this company to another company. This kind of, if you have this kind of dynamic knowledge, it is helpful for the personally to your career also, to enhance your knowledge. And this helpful for your organization as well to pick the jobs. It means whoever, because pre-construction period, as I said, pre-construction is, as I explained, it is a part of business development also. Lot of business development tools you have to practice in pre-construction. Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, pre-construction is, they are only focusing on engineering matters, not the marketing matters. But you should know about the business development. Such kind of engineers can go anywhere in the world. They can cross any barriers. This is my experience. Yeah. Okay, Nalin.
Thank you, Vinod. And to be honest with you, that the best learning out of this session, there were a lot of informations and there were a lot of insights. But my best learning is that you have to be ready to take challenges and you have to be aware of what's happening outside. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Minoj. And Minoj will take a 2-minute break, and we have the attendance to be marked at the chat box. And I'm sure that Sanjay might put it into the YouTube streaming as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, now you have this attendance Google form to be marked in the chat box, and please mark your attendance. Until then, we have to play one small advertisement. Ladies and gentlemen, meantime, we can take a small water break of maximum 2 minutes time, then we'll start our Q&A session. Minoj, I hope that you'll be okay to stay further 30 minutes maximum. Yeah, we highly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll mark our attendance and ready with your all questions. And we have a few questions already reached to our WhatsApp groups. And if you have any questions to be shooted verbally, you can raise your hands. Now we have Sapu Andrew and Callum Sirivardhana raise their hands. And we'll go for the raise hands finally. And please go ahead with the advertisement, Sanjay. Then we'll come back. Meantime, make sure that you mark your attendance.
Nature is a masterpiece. Preserve its beauty while surrounding yourself in the transcendent aesthetics of your dreams. Embrace a world of elegance and sustainability with Swisstech Aluminium. Swisstech Aluminium. Live in elegance.
Sanjay, hope we have another advertisement. Is it? Are we done with the advertisements?
One more to come, Shalin.
Right, okay. Thank you, Sanjay and our organizing team. There are certain raised hands, and before moving to the raised hands and the Q&A session, ladies and gentlemen, a kind reminder to mark your attendance again. You have it in your chat box and even in YouTube streaming as well. Just make sure, because to have the certificate of completion, we have to have minimum of 80% of attendance. And if anybody who has difficulties of marking your attendance due to power failures or signal failures, what we recommend is to have at least 3 screenshots from different intervals, minimum of 30 minutes of intervals, to prove your attendance. Thank you very much. Minoj, shall you start some Q&A which we have received from the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, please proceed.
Yeah, there are some questions when client responding to RFI, that is about the request for information in the pre-bid stage. Is it officially informed to all the bidders or bidder who raised the question? Because in Sri Lankan context also, sometimes we, as a contractor, sometimes we get the response for RFIs individually, but sometimes it's a collective RFI response. So what would be the general practice in Middle East?
In Middle East also, Nalin, that during the pre-construction, during the tender stage, so that all RFIs circulate into the all bidders. That's the general practice. That is the general practice. And also sometime, because unless special cases means some projects are there, some packages are security packages. For an example, when we bid the Abu Dhabi presidential palace, that security bid, that security systems, those security contractors, that subcontractors are separate bid have been happened, but that when they raise that RFIs, so it is not circulating to the among all bidders. That for the special cases, we believe that's for the security like CCTV system, etc. Otherwise, general practice it's rotating to the circulating to the all bidders. Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. I think that's beneficial for the project ultimately.
Exactly.
So sharing the whole
part. Yeah.
Yes. And in our language, sometimes we call queries, the tender queries. So the queries to be answered collectively to everybody. And there is another, I think this is quite a bit of a question even to popped up in my mind as well, that as you mentioned in the timeline of your pre-construction activities, you said that you have a pre-qualification stage. Through that, from that onwards, we have, say, for example, 5 contractors. From that pre-qualification stage onwards, until the contract is awarded to a certain contractor, is all 5 contractors are working together or working alone with the project. So the question here is, what would be the remedy, like those who lose the project? So is it all about the risk, or I'm sure that there should be a lot of resources to be put into action, and there should be a lot of time to be spent on the project. So what could be the remedy if those people lose the project?
Actually, Naling, it is a risk. It is a risk. You can't. We have. I will get the real experience, as I explained before. During Cleveland Clinic, we were there were 8 bidders there during tender. Then 4, I think 4 or 5 has been pre-qualified. Then technical bidding started during 5. Finally, we lost the job. BHIGAF lost the job. It took 6 months. So I do remember we estimated our design estimation cost. It was a couple of dirhams millions. It's a loss. It lost. Yeah.
That's
a big part of. It's a part of business development. Yeah.
Yes. So it's kind of your. So you can say simply the marketing budget or whatever the budget to be allocated. Right. And
exactly.
There are certain. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And there are certain questions from. I don't think that this is the good forum to discuss this question. Like in chat box in Sri Lanka, most construction works tendered by the government, and getting early connection to suppliers would be a favoration, and how we avoid it. I don't think that, yeah. Any of your comments may not be the answer, but your opinion.
It is ethical. It is ethical matters. Yes, especially government projects, because I have personal experience also through my company. So. It is there. That's ethically actually that it should not be engaged. But in it is like that in governments. I have recognized sometime during the tender process or design stage, sometimes local government consultants officially they can't meet suppliers officially as per the guide. Sometime in the guidelines. Yeah, but in Dubai. They are meeting and they are getting inputs for the design, but they are not doing any deal there generally. But Sri Lanka officially it stopped, but unofficially they will do that things. That's ethical matters. But I believe personally for they have to in design tender during tendering also they have to engage with. Contractors or bidders during, but not not unethical matters, for the share knowledge. As I explained, we have to be updated when you do the design, because lot of government projects when I came to Sri Lanka sometime that time I recognized lot of specification are copy paste in same specification. 2 systems have been discussed. Yeah, big project. Sometimes it's I can't say the names, Naling. I think you know that's it's mixed. It's starting from different guideline, finishing from different guideline. It means copy paste. We have to update our knowledge. We have to. It's a 2-way communication always, but it should be done by the ethically, not for the deals and connection, for the project point of view, for the good things. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Minoj. And Sanjay, are we in a position to go for those raise hand questions as well? And again, there was some chat box messages that some participants couldn't mark their attendance.
Naling, I think our good colleague Kalum is there.
Yeah, this Kalum Sirivardhan is a different Kalum Sirivardhan. Yeah,
okay.
He's not the person from Abu
Dhabi. I thought our colleague in Dubai who has good experience.
Yes, he's the same Kalum Sirivardhan. I'm sure that he's from Goal, I think.
Okay. I thought your colleague.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm from Goal.
Yeah, he's a different Kalum Sirivardhan.
Okay.
Please go ahead with your question.
Yes, Minoj, I have problem with that pre-construction, that chart. You said that selected bidder get the 70% that progress, but you said that 10 or 20% progress, we can start the main civil, especially piling or something. How can we say that contractor? It's a separate contractor. Or that what's the?
No, it's that's why I explain there during for the civil works at the preliminary construction works like pilings time, because big projects in some projects there are separate nominated contractor do the piling. Yeah. So that sometimes piling works not the part of that main bidding process, is a different contract, but 100% they can't do. I mean, they cannot start properly. But to minimize the time frame, especially in Middle East, for an example, that like Atlantis hotels, that hotel is 1,605 rooms, big projects, but construction period is 28 months. Yeah. Therefore, during the tender, they will start some works. In electrical side, they will nominate earthing and lighting protection subcontractors. They will start. But for the major works, they cannot start. But partially, they have to identify. They have to identify where it can be started. But some projects it cannot be. Some projects it can be done. Especially then a good example is Lou Museum in Abu Dhabi. It is adjacent to the sea. That kind of projects is difficult to start. Yeah.
I think even Manoj, that the concept of provisional sums also can play a good role. For example, like the lighting package or
exactly.
the Centuria package. So you can put some provisional sum. So then you can make the analysis of the project, and you can
exactly
award
that,
it.
I missed to explain, Nalin. It's thank you for reminding that one. A lot of projects we can recognize provisional sums there during the initial stage, but when during the pre-construction time, that provisional sums can be elaborated. Yeah. So that elaborated, then all risk can be identified. Yes, that is a good opportunity while running pre-construction.
Yes, thank you, Manoj. And there is a multi-million word question that I don't know how you are going to answer it. Is there any source to get more knowledge about value engineering? That would be big help.
Value engineering, actually, to do the value engineering if you have to do value engineering, you should have thoroughly knowledge about the technical matters. It means the technical. I will get as I am an electrical engineer, I will explain in electrical point of view. Yeah. You should have good understanding about the theory about power distribution, where whatever the system engage with the projects, you should have proper understanding. Yeah. Then you will have knowledge of what are the systems you can allocate as an alternative. There are different models of power distribution, as I explained, with bus bar, without bus bar. Yeah. Then you should have proper technical knowledge. And when you have good experience, if you have experience with the projects, yeah, then you will automatically you will feel about this alternative option, cost saving options. Normally, value engineering, when we were in Dubai, all experienced engineers, that's why in any companies in Dubai, they place best team into the pre-construction team. Whoever perform in the construction, they in BK Gulf, they made a A++ team. Yeah, A++. They recognize every evaluation, good performance, they put pre-construction team. Then that value engineering things will come with the experience and the knowledge. Yeah. There are no any books to read good value engineering. This comes with the experience and the way you have interest. Yeah.
I think you highlighted very well, like awareness of other products, maybe other contractors, what they're going to do, the new technologies, the emerging market. Those are the key areas. I think if you are vigilant enough, then obviously we can go for a good value engineering.
Yeah, Nalin taken good example. I will elaborate that. For an example, let's say BMS system. BMS. Yeah. In Sri Lanka, sometime whoever in electrical engineers in construction field, you might hear BMS, IBMS. building management system, integrated building management. For an example, if you BMS, and if you talk about Hyatt project, you might hear IBMS. I do remember MOD project also is written as a IBMS. Yeah. Then when we participate to the bidding, sometimes like that manufacturers are Honeywell, normally international reputed BMS manufacturers, system integrators are Honeywell, Siemens, Johnson Control, etc. Yeah, but if you have experience with all brands, then some projects Honeywell system is better than Siemens. Cost and quality. That's how their management level. Honeywell, I think, who has BMS experience, they know what I'm talking. Therefore, you should know about other systems as well. Total make that's why whoever perform very well in the pre-construction period, especially these value engineering options, comes with experience, they will give high value for the company, the assets. Yeah.
Thanks, Manoj. And ladies and gentlemen, especially the participants, we are not highlighting any products or brands, but this is for the purpose of explanation only. Yeah. And sometimes the better product, sometimes maybe the economical, sometimes the cost price, durability, it depends. And these better products will not remain as the better product every day, because there could be different research and development. So the other product could overcome the same product, could be in the market. So I think the same thing, which I think the best part is from this discussion, even the previous week, Chatura highlighted the planning engineer is not all about just drawing the lines, and these young engineers or young planners, young contract administration would not be the only people who's handling. At the same time, I think the experienced people should be picked up for the pre-construction as well. Otherwise, in Sri Lankan context, sometimes you get some recently graduated or training quantity surveyors and some new engineers to put this value engineering and make these estimations. So that's where we fail a lot. And even especially in the consultancy firms also, what we can see, sometimes a draftman draw the drawings, copying from some previous projects, and they go with the tender documents. And with the previous question itself, I would like to add the same. There was another question. I think this is especially applicable for Sri Lankan context. And what one of my friend Viduranga highlighted, that if we understand that tender design will not cater to the building requirement, this happens especially in our experience, the air conditioning. Say, for example, air conditioning, there are certain designs which may not be catering the requirements. Sometimes this may not be applicable in Middle East, because we know that they are so experienced people. But in sometimes the Sri Lankan context, your design will not be really match with the performance of the final performance of building. So sometimes the contractor has to do value engineering, which could be increasing the cost. So how you tackle this? Because see, making a value engineering proposal to increase the cost, obviously a reason to be disqualified as a contractor. So how we manage this kind of a context, especially in tender negotiations?
Actually, Nadine, it's so that tender negotiation, as you said, sometimes when we study the systems, sometimes we might feel that specification will not work. Sometimes with the time, sometimes that the design stage, especially like ELV systems or automation system, okay, that 2020, for an example, 2015 specification has been written, 10 days 2017, but project is execute 2020. Yeah, therefore some bidders only price the as per the specification, but some good bidders, experienced bidders, they will understand the risk. Yeah, but they have to explain. So what they are pricing, then they can do two pricing actually. When we were in Dubai, we have faced similar issues. Yeah. Then what we are doing, we price the main system, we call base bid or base system, and value engineering. That value engineering might increase the cost. Yeah. Then during the tender interviews or meetings, we have to explain to the risk. If we stick with that, the risk with the main design or tender design, this is the risk. But this is the alternative option, which increase the cost, mitigate the risk. Yeah. Then that the client or project management team, that they will understand. If they understand, then they will understand if we explain properly technically. Yeah. If they said no, stick with that, it will be recorded during the tender clarifications. In the future, if something happened to that system, so that the client has to pay to the contractor for the variations. Yeah. But sometime, as you said, if we not properly convey that message, sometime that bidder will lose the job during the tender. That is the risk. Yeah. So I will give good example. Yeah. During when we bid the Cleveland Clinic time, I said we lost the job. Cleveland Clinic, Abu Dhabi. Yeah. That is, we bid we started bidding process 2010. In that project, they have announced Cat 6A cable for the Cat 6A. That was, I think, first time, very initial time Cat 6A came to the world. They mentioned Cat 6A. Job got by ETA. ETA said the system, we can run the system by Cat 6. But later, we hear they had an issue with that ELV system. Then later, contractor come for the BK Gulf again. Can you take ELV package? But our company said, no, we are MEP contractor. We need entire things. Therefore, we will not take. So that kind of experiences are there. Sometimes it's a successful. Sometimes it's a risk to lose the job. But if we are, I think, if we know that is not good to have value engineering base bid, there's a risk. It is better to not to participate. Otherwise, in the future, we are in the risk. If we not have proper risk register that analyze properly, recorded.
Thank you, Manoj. And see, I would amalgamate two questions now. In chat box number one is, if one contractor comes with good value engineering proposal, will there a possibility to expose to others? Because I think that it's kind of a secret at midway in between when people are in competition. So are they going to maybe sharing the same value engineering concept and get the price from everybody, or how it will happen? That's number one. Yeah, and I would like to include another one. I could remember in Japanese context, if you are doing a value engineering proposal, maybe at the post-contractual stage, maybe, and there could be, say, if it is 100 million saving, then it could be shared 50-50 by the contractor and the client. So these two concepts, can you please elaborate? Number one, first one is how these value engineering proposals, would it be shared by the other contractors at the pre-construction stage, or would it be kept as confidential or secret proposal? And the other one is post-contractual.
Actually, for the international practice, that the client can't share value engineering proposals. Contractually, you can't. Yeah. The reason
how it comes, is it under?
It is contract.
Yeah,
yes,
it's under NDA, or there's some.
Yes,
there's some non-disclosure agreements here.
Yes, exactly. For the value engineering, sometimes we have practice in Sri Lanka, in Dubai, value engineering proposal, they are spending a lot of time on that. Sometimes months, sometimes 5 months, 6 months, value engineering. Therefore, before you start, there's an agreement. They can't close. If in the future, if recognized they shared with the other bidder, they can claim from that. Yeah. So in Dubai, it's you cannot be done, but Sri Lanka, I know it's happening. Yeah, because I know one Japanese company. Sometimes their value engineering proposal is sharing with others. Yes, I think what I'm talking.
Okay, so we'll stop this conversation from that point onwards. And we have another raised hand from Dilini Thompson.
I think you asked second
Second question was
also.
how to share this value engineering at the post-contractual stage.
Yes, it is being shared like 50-50 general practice, because I do remember Atlantis also like that. Atlantis also like bus some packages. We shared 50-50 among the contractors and they. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And there's another question. I'm quite struggling to find out the meaning. How to calculate life cycle inventory summary based on functional unit? How to calculate life cycle inventory summary?
Lifetime summary.
If you could, can you please see this chat box?
Can explain more about that question? I think who raised that question is
it should be Kulatunga. KMRB Kulatunga.
I can understand first part. I mean, what the functional unit?
Functional units, maybe the systems, maybe he refers. Okay, until he comes, Dilini Thompson was there with a hand raised. Do you have a question still? Okay, seems we are done with the question, and there's another. What is the role of BIM in such mega projects, and how we can get that knowledge in Sri Lanka? So it's obviously you have to follow BIM or Revit course, and
it is very much. It is very much important in modern construction in Dubai. It's highly involved, not only BIM, and they practice all projects now. I think you are aware now, project management tools are there, like Econex. Yeah, it's a all mega project management tool for the all submissions. Yeah, you should be aware of that. But if you are willing to go to the Middle East, not only Middle East, any international regions. Yeah.
Yes, especially even in the document controlling method, you don't
exactly
print everything and submit. There are some approval process and there are all submissions. Yes. So it's, yeah. As per the specification, there's another question comes. Okay, just came in. As per the specification, the contractor is responsible for the work. If the engineer instructed to conduct the particular work as per his requirement based on his observation, and if got failed, who will be responsible finally?
Mani, can you repeat it again?
Yeah, as per the specification, the contractor is responsible for the work. Okay, that's contractor's work. And if the engineer instructed to conduct the particular work as per his requirement based on his observation, and if got failed, who will be responsible? I'm also struggling.
I will explain what I understood. Yeah. So in international practice, so the design sometime for the value engineering, that proposal value engineering or any design changes, if contractors willing to do, so that as requested by engineer or client, normally they are asking the insurance for that design things, insurance things.
Yes, there is PI,
then they will
professional indemnity insurance.
Yes. Then they will cover from that if any fails. But normally that if engineers asked to do the contractors to do the design role, if you don't have insurance kind of thing, so some companies don't have that, then that responsibility has to take by not the consultant, has to take by the consultant and the client together in written. Yes. So those kind of things contractors has to sign. That's why I said there's a risk register for the projects. So some risk with the contractors, some risk with the consultant. So we should have proper risk assessment with who's responsible for that. Yeah.
Thank you, Manoj. And there was another hand raised by Norbert Joseph. Now it has been removed, I guess. Norbert Joseph. Okay, Sanjay, do we have any more questions?
Salin, there is no more question. Now Chanaka Samarji has raised his hand. Chanaka, you can ask your question.
I'm Chanaka. Regarding it is related to an electrical project or the gantry design and build project. At the initial stage, in a gantry, there is an option called bypass isolator, so that contractor and employer agreed for a ABS as bypass isolator, and laterly contractor inform the employer that we could do that work with normal DDLO switch, and we agreed for ABS, so that they required a claim for that. So in that case, it is somewhat like value engineering work. Maybe he is explained in such a way, but initially it was not discussed on what will be the claim and other things. So how that kind of situations should address as an employer point of view.
That in such situations, so that's why I said if you propose, as you explained that with the examples, if you propose such kind of systems, all parties should agree for that value engineering or design design changes. If it fails, so that with the agreement, so that if that responsibility with the contractor has to take that responsibility. Yeah. So the value engineering, normally it's a contract is proposing value engineering, therefore that he has that responsibility, equal responsibility with the consultant and the client. That's why normally we profit also sharing half, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Am I answered that question well?
Chanaka මොනහරි ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවා චානකට තියෙනවා නම් පැහැදිලි වුණාද චානකට කිව්වදී?
ඔව් එතනදී අර ප්‍රශ්නේ උනේ මේ මනෝජ් initially තිබුණේ bypass relay එකක් bypass arrangement කියන එක. එතකොට design stage එකේදී agree වෙනවා ABS එකකට යනවා කියලා. ABS එකකට මේ isolator එකකට යනවා කියන එක. පස්සේ අවසානයේ implement stage එකේදී contractor propose කරනවා they could do it with the normal DDLO, and with employers request they have changed it to isolator. So they request, in that point they request a claim for the variation for that initial agreement. I want to know whether that should be considered by in the point of view of employer.
That in such cases, so that if something in the design, if let's say you are the contractor, but under value engineering or under some contest, you propose some alternative methods to that one. In the later stage, if the client or consultant asks to do that such changes, yeah. So, but if technically, and if you are correct, then they have to pay for your variation as it has been agreed at the middle stage or beginning. The reason is you might be purchased already, and you might take already that workmanship you already done. Yeah. If you are not purchased, or if you are not done any material or workmanship, then you can change. But sometimes you can charge if any drawings or if any technical matters included with that changes, you can charge only for the technical matters. Yeah, for the variations.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Minoj, and thank you, Chanaka, for your question. And Sanjay, hope we can move ahead with the conclusion.
Yes, Mr.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. And especially Minoj, I know for a fact that you are a very busy person, and especially on a Sunday evening, not just spending these 2 hours, but I saw from your presentation, there were a lot of animations, there were a lot of homework and preparation. I'm sure that you have spent good 2-3 weeks for this presentation, and we have shared this presentation as well. So that's all together for the betterment of our professionals, not only engineers. There are a lot of quantity surveys, and there were certain contract administrators, especially young professionals. So apart from the content of the presentation, I'm sure that you have set a good example of how you have to perform, how you have to think out of the box, and how you have to be ready to take challenges. And I'm sure that we as Sri Lankans, we are ready to take challenges, and especially in this type of a difficult situation. So it's all about using and utilizing our knowledge and our brain to make our country a different place and a better place. So with that remark, thank you very much, Minoj, spending valuable time. And do you have any final remarks to make, Minoj?
Actually, thanks, Nalin, for the opportunity to given to me, because you know that because this kind of similar lectures I done for some companies as well, foreign companies, but for the Sri Lankan engineers, I think previously you and me discussed personally also that we did free education from Sri Lanka. As we work in Dubai, we know how valuable for that, because foreigners did a lot of investment of their degrees and the primary education. Therefore, we have to do something for Sri Lanka. So I am always ready for this kind of things to allocating time actually. But always, as I explained, there are now in Sri Lankan engineers, lot of challenges are there. Yeah, but as a theory also, we know challenges will make opportunities. Yeah, actually this is all engineers don't get any bad in during this one. You have to take this one as a revolutionary change in your career, local country and international countries. Now good chance to you to the work in international projects, because international construction is evolving and dynamic. Therefore, I would very much happy to share this my knowledge and experience with Sri Lankan engineers. You know, Nalin, I am not a permanent lecturer for this. I do guest lectures, and nowadays I am not that much participating in local lectures because I don't have time. But you invited me, so I can't refuse as friendship and things. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks for the audience as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Minoj, and thanks for your generosity. And obviously, I know apart from the friendship and being a good friend for a longer time, I know that you are a good gentleman, always ready to serve nationally. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that we cannot learn everything within just 2 hours time, but I'm sure that the window opened by Minoj and the areas he has explored and showed that, okay, those are the paths. I'm sure that there we have to explore by ourselves and get the help from seniors and try to engage as much as from this international context and try to make your career developed, have your own businesses developed, and ultimately to make this country a prosperous place. With that remark, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us. And I have to mention again about the training unit of CECB and CESL, especially the names, led by the training unit led by Engineer Chandana and helped by Sarasi. And there are some special teams from CESL as well, Engineer Ishani, Dilum, and the people behind the screen whom you cannot see visibly, especially Mr. Sanjay and our Submaster as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your contribution. And we have done 4 sessions out of 8. So we are halfway through the session, and I'm sure that we are getting more and more knowledge and exposure. We'll try to do our best to bring these professional careers to improve. On behalf of CECB, I would like to thank you very much for all of you to being a good and a brilliant audience. We'll see you hopefully by next Sunday by 7:30 with another good session. Thank you very much and have a pleasant evening. Good night. Thank you, Minoj. Thank you.